My name is Dan, and I'm making a horror game.
This is the coolest thing you've ever done.
What I have to show off in this video is some overhauling done to the in-game phone camera. It now at least remotely resembles what night vision does. And I've also added a zoom function, which currently serves absolutely no purpose other than it felt weird not having it. Because of this, I had to rethink using the scroll wheel to change items, and after an excruciating 3 seconds I realized I can just map these to the number keys. I've added a placeholder UI element that pops up whenever you change items. My thinking behind this is that I can add more tools or items at a later stage without having to completely redo the UI every time. I want to add some scene analysis tools, kind of like CSI stuff, but nothing too in-depth, as I have no actual clue how those things work. I just need to make it believable. It's a bit of an unplanned feature still, but I wanted to add it since just walking around with a camera feels a little underwhelming. And just because it's going to be a free game doesn't mean I shouldn't do what I can to make it fun and immersive, which should kind of be the first goal when making a game. Until you've reached AAA status, then you can focus on making broken cash-grabbing early access titles. As previously mentioned, I gave the camera's look a bit of an overhaul, and the night vision functions as it should. But I realized when inspecting items whilst having the phone equipped, they kind of morph through the phone, so I'm still working on making a UI that'll blur the background and pause the game while the player inspects items. Nobody wants to die to an enemy while not having control of their character anyway. There is a square on the phone screen that changes size whenever the player is pointing it at something that should be photographed. I got the idea from a game called Infra. For those of you who haven't played it, revolves around taking pictures of stuff. After taking the photo box gets deleted, so the player can't take the same picture twice and recall the same events, if there were to be any events associated with a picture taken. As for the item inspection, it's possible to zoom objects in and out now. I've added a UI for a heading and a short description of what you're looking at, and as dumb as it may sound, even adding something generic like "it's an old lantern" or "it's a common box of matches" makes for much more immersive storytelling. And being a single-player game, you can't get too much immersion. A working main menu have been added as well. I don't have a working save game mechanic yet. I'm leaving this until I know exactly what should be saved, just normal checkpoints, or if I should include a variable of which photos have been taken, and so on. And that will obviously only be after having a few people test play the game. Because believe me when I say, testing your own game just never yields the same results. It's better sometimes to just let people go in blind, no help, and just let them try and break the game. The options menu is still super barren, with only a resolution and overall graphics setting. These are primarily just added for when the game gets tested. Controls, audio, and render specifics will be added at a later stage. But that's all I have for you now, and until then, goodbye.